when we were looking at the brackets for the women's
Mm-hmm.
side, what game did I tell you to watch out for? What game did I tell you was going to be one of the best games to watch in this tournament?
I believe the answer to that question is the Baylor UConn game.
Sure. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir. Same region, bruh. I told you. That was going to be the game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, high quality. Okay. Must see game. Literally back and forth. Bruh. This was a game. If you were to compare this game to any other of the games in the entire March Madness tournament, this was, because every year we got controversy in March Madness and drama. This was easily the most controversial game on the men and women's side.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's get into the game. We're going to get into the game, and then we're going to talk about that controversial moment. Now, if y'all hear something in the back, the garbage truck being loud, they trying to stop the enemy. The enemy trying to stop the progress this morning. Amen.
Oh, my God.
Amen. I should say my prayer before we start the podcast this morning. Maybe this wouldn't be happening. Okay, so we knew we were getting this matchup in the Elite Eight. Like, we knew it. When it comes to the women's bracket, the dominating teams, they dominate. Like,
Right.
you don't see nearly as many upsets on the women's side and the men's side every year. Every year.
Was that Gino Ariema that I saw that said, like, this game should have been a championship game? Like, Baylor shouldn't have been a 2 seed. They should have been a 1 seed, and it should have been in the Final Four of the championship.
Oh, I don't know if that was him who said it. I didn't hear whoever said that, but yeah, he's right. Remember I told you, I said this is the best team Baylor's had since Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
Baylor for sure should have been a 1 seed. When it comes to seeding,
Jesus Christ.
bro, I'm trying to tell
Oh, my
you
God.
go hell.
God.
Okay. When it comes to seeding, Baylor should have been a number 1 seed.
Right,
like,
right.
easily. So, like I told you, when I saw Baylor and UConn in the same region, I told you, I said, bro, for one, why are they in the same region? And for two, this is going to be the game to watch. And it was the game to watch. And who knew it was going to come down to a controversial moment? All right, so let's get to the game, though. All right. Most people predicted this matchup. So, in the game, the game is going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, as we expected it to be. UConn Huskies, historical program. Baylor, getting there. Third quarter comes around. Baylor is up by 10 points. 10 points against UConn. All right, that's an accomplishment in itself. But third quarter comes around. Baylor's up 10 points. 2 minutes left in the quarter. Just clicking on offense. But then, talk about bad luck. Baylor's point guard pulls her hamstring, bruh. Pulls her hamstring in the Elite Eight game against UConn, up double digits in the third quarter. Bruh. Pulls a hamstring. All right. So, you know what happens next. You know what happens next. UConn went on a 19-0 run.
Jeez.
Bruh. 19-0 run. But let's talk about this 19-0 run. This 19-0 run was led by freshman Paige Beckers. Listen. Paige Beckers is a bucket. A walking bucket on any given Sunday. She is literally, so many people have said this. They think she's the best player in women's college basketball right now. I agree. Homegirl's a walking bucket. Like, she gave you a little bit of Steph Curry. Like, she actually is the female version of Steph Curry. She's a walking bucket easily. So she led the 19-0 run that put UConn over Baylor. But then Baylor comes back. So we talking about a high-profile back-and-forth game. A few runs, but it's still tight in the end. So let's get to the most controversial moment of the game and of the tournament on both sides. Baylor is down by 1 point. All right? UConn has the ball. Baylor fouls. UConn misses both free throws. Reminded me of that that Houston Rutgers game. All right. UConn misses 2 free throws. It's 18 seconds left in the game. Baylor gets the ball. All right. And a little time go off the clock. Okay. But Dejanay Carrington drives the ball. She's the leading scorer for the game, for Baylor. She drives the ball, drives it into her left, pulls up for a jumper. 2 defenders go up with her. She throws a shot up, falls to the ground. No whistle. UConn goes on to make it to the Final Four. Now let's talk about this shot this jumper in which 2 defenders guarded her and she fell to the ground. No whistle. She pulls up for the jumper. 2 defenders are also in the air with her. One girl has her hand on her face, well, her arm on her face, and the other girl has her arm on her elbow. It is 2 fouls here. Not just one, but 2 fouls here. Clear as day. Anybody can see that. Stevie Wonder could see that. If the play-by-play was translated into Braille, the person reading the play-by-play could see it was a foul. Bruh, clear foul. No doubt about it. At all. Bad call. Bad call. The refs got that wrong. Baylor got robbed. Little do we know, Carrington could have went to the free throw line and made both free throws. Mind you, they were only down 1. They could have went to the Final Four. But we would never know because she never got to the free throw line because the refs never called a foul. Now that makes me think, if this was the men's tournament and that would have happened, do you think the refs could have got away with that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, let's go to the after game. After the game, Baylor coach Kim Mulkey, pissed, by the way, can't even get her face mask on. If you go back and watch the post game, homegirl struggling with her face mask, like she can't even get it right because she just pissed, which I understand. So one of the reporters asked her about the call, and she said, "What did you see?" And they said, "I saw a foul." She said, "Well, write it that way." It's clear as day. Write it that way. She said she had 2 different angles on her phone showing that it was a clear foul. After the game, you get on Twitter. You know, when something controversial happens, you go to Twitter. Everybody's tweeting about this. LeBron James tweeted, "Come on, man, that was a foul." Swin Cash, WNBA legend, who used to play for UConn, by the way, tweeted, "I love my Huskies, but yeah, they missed that foul." Bruh.
Hey, look,
You saw it, Mervin.
You know what? Actually, see, I was just about to get to that. I did. Now, you know me, I don't really watch that much women's basketball. And I think I have the excuse.
He should be bashed.
No. I have the excuse. I was watching the UH game. It was going on at the exact same time. So anyway,
you got a laptop, don't you?
But what I did was, because the UH game had like 5 minutes left and this game had like a minute left, I was like, okay, let me go. Let me see what they're talking about on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Say it's a good game. I'm gonna go over to watch it. So yeah, I saw the missed free throws and I saw the final play. If I may interject a little officiating experience here. You know, certain times it's right or wrong, you know, sometimes there's certain fouls that get called in the first half that won't get called in the second half. You know what I'm saying? Hear me out. Just hear me out. So, you know, if I might, you know, hand check you one time and they might blow that in the first quarter, but in the fourth quarter, they might let it play, right?
This ain't no hand check. Keep going.
Shut up. Let me finish my point. Damn. But again, this, like you just beat me to, this ain't one of those calls. This is, like you said, hand in the face, hand on the arm. Like, just watching that play live, I was like, how did they not call that a foul? Like, exactly. that like, she got bodied, man. Like, look, I get it. You let them play, but you don't let them play through murder. You let them play through, like, a stab. Like, you know, a jab to the ribs. Like, you don't let them play through getting, like, absolutely murdered like that.
You also don't let them play in the final seconds in a point game. Like, you watching specifically for these types of fouls.
What I'm saying is, if it's like slight contact, especially with it being a 1-point game, you might swallow your whistle on that and just, like, if it's just like a brush on the arm, whatever. But just to go back to the picture that we looked at earlier, if I can find where my Twitter is and find where the guy is. Like, if you go back and look at the picture, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Girl can't even, you know, get her elbow extended because there's hands all over her. Like, that is, right. Like, when you look up a foul in the officiating rule book, this picture, the picture that's circulating about this, that should be the one that they put on the page. Like, this is a foul. Call this every single time. Like, I don't know how they missed that. And of course, it's refs, like, it's officials standing right there. They should be looking at that play. Like, I don't know what they're looking at or what angle they had, but even at the very least, you'd be better off saying, like, blowing it, calling it a foul, and then it'd be like, oh, it wasn't that bad. I probably couldn't have got away with. I could have gotten away with not calling it than what they did by not calling it at all. Like you said, even people who are affiliated with UConn say, like, hey, look, I love my girls. I'm glad they're going to the Final Four, but
bro, that was Gino Auriemma's daughter even said it was a foul.
Yeah, like everybody knows. Gino might
But
not
wait.
say it because it's his team, like, and he has to.
Actually, he alluded to it. He did.
Yeah, of course. He's not gonna say it like just explicitly. Like you said, he'll allude to it, but he ain't gonna just say, "Oh yeah, Fish got that wrong." Like, it's his team. You wouldn't expect your coach to do that.
He alluded to it on a major level, though. So remember the LeBron tweet I told you about? One of the reporters mentioned a LeBron tweet. Gino says, so LeBron has never in his entire career had a game that he won based off of a controversial call or no call. Oh, he's never had one of those.
Never.
We should just never. And if he has, somebody should took back the win. But he's never had one of those before. So that's Gino basically saying, yeah, it was a no call, but we won.
Right.
And granted, it is UConn. This would be different if it was an upset game.
Right.
Like, say this happened with Michigan and UCLA, the game we're just talking about. And that happened with, Michigan and UCLA goes on to win, which they did win, but say the controversial call happened with Michigan to decide the game. Oh, people would be pissed. But it's UConn. UConn has 11 national championships. And this is their 13th straight trip to the Final Four. So, at the same time, it was a no call. And I would have loved to see Baylor in the Final Four. But also, this is UConn. You know what I'm saying? UConn did go on a 19-0 run. Granted, Baylor's point guard got hurt. But in Gino's case, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if the game was close enough for this to happen, like, I mean, I understand it was a no call, but they didn't call it. So let's just move on.